It was documented that from early 2014 to the middle of 2015, I had cleaned 445 apartments, homes, and offices in the Bay Area, primarily in the city of San Francisco. I filled an Olympia bag with method cleaning products, a bunch of rags, and a vacuum named Mighty Mite. And I took it with me everywhere, rain or shine. From Fruitvale, I took the 62, the 14, the 20, the 21, the BART, the Muni, the 30, the 45, the 5, the 47, the 49. I wore a black hoodie with Johnsonville track printed on it in gold. I do not know where Johnsonville is. Also printed in gold was Hermes' winged foot. I didn't know what sort of message I was delivering or who I was delivering it to. As I dodged junkies in the Tenderloin, as I dodged Porsches in the Marina, as I waited in lobbies of the financial district, as I zigzagged through the Mission, as I tried not to look suspicious in Chinatown, as I pissed poor into the sunset, as I scaled Russian Hill lugging a 50-pound bag like Sisyphus onto the plateau of California Avenue, careful not to tumble all the way back down to Ellis. I would spend full days in the city. I became a connoisseur of everything in between, anywhere I could kill time between jobs, naps on park benches, sunrises on front stoops, uncalled for meals at French restaurants, just me and my cleaning bag. I just needed a place to be. I've seen so many things. I saw a black woman without a home, yelling to herself, pushing a stroller with 2 white baby dolls sitting in it. That was the saddest thing I ever saw. And that was after I walked past City Hall and saw a woman with a rubber tube tightened around her bicep, blood streaming down her arm. Once I was walking across a busy street and a woman yelled to me, "Don't go over there. He over there taking a shit." So I went over there. And he was. He was taking a shit in front of everyone, even the cops. I saw a man walking up Leavenworth holding a flower pot with his pants around his ankles. I saw a woman naked from head to toe and shivering right outside a Salesforce, and I walked right past her. I barely concealed cruel laughter when I walked through Powell Street BART station, seeing people balled up on the subway floor, serenaded by an acoustic cover of that Bill Medley Jennifer Warren song. I've had the time of my life, and I never felt this way before. Right, fucking brutal. I remember thinking that it was peculiar for me, what with all my aspirations, to be showing up to scrub the living quarters of random strangers. I also remember noting how it didn't seem to faze them, like it wasn't out of the ordinary, like it was exactly where I belonged. I would spend afternoons cleaning toilets, then grab my cleaning bag up to the top of the Mark restaurant in the Mark Hopkins Hotel to listen to jazz music and hear my friends read poetry. I must have polished over 1,000 toilets in San Francisco. I cleaned for everyone. Didn't matter who you were, techies, housewives, old cat ladies, politicians. I dusted around baggies of cocaine, stripper poles, a book titled Coping with a Large Penis, and refrigerator magnets on cars that read Save the Date. Everyone in San Francisco was getting married. Literally no one I knew was getting married. I once cleaned a small apartment in the Mission and thumbed through red light lit poetry collections that were lying all over the place. I told the client that some of my friends were featured in those books, and the client told me she knew my friends, and she sent me home with a few free copies. The best was when I was given directions to find a key. I could clean while no one was home. These moments were a meditation. I cleaned an apartment in the Marina and took a Parliament out of a pack I found in a drawer. I ate a peanut butter and jelly, PB&J, and smoked that Parliament while watching boats pass by on the water as the ocean breeze blew through the open window. Sometimes I truly enjoyed being able to view the city from angles that I could never afford to live in. I tell you that some of the clients were really a trip. I showed up to a place in Dolores Park and this couple immediately offered me a dab. Out of politeness, I took it. Boy, did I regret that. Have you ever seen cartoons where Daffy Duck or whoever tastes something piping hot and you see the heat rise up to their eyeballs? That's exactly what it was like, only the heat was highness and I was high as fuck. This is when I noticed that the granite top island in their kitchen was covered end to end in beakers, pipettes, loop-de-loops, and all sorts of glassware that I could not readily identify. A full-blown chemistry set. It was like season 1 of Breaking Bad. I knew that I had fucked up, but I kept on cleaning. I'm a professional. Looking over my shoulder, paranoid, sure that this couple had set me up and at any moment they were going to burst in wearing assless chaps. Or they were recording me, or they were going to chop me up into little pieces and smoke me. Maybe turn me into a wax. Maybe dab me. But they seemed so nice. They really were. They sent me home with some smoke and well wishes. One lady asked me to do the extra work of carrying an unwanted bed frame from her upstairs apartment down to the street on Valencia. She offered to pay me in tacos. I told her that I would ask if my bill collector would accept tacos. Noticing her mistake, she then offered me Monopoly money, and I left promptly. That did not happen. That part didn't. I once showed up at an apartment near Bush and Larkin and rang the bell. No one answered, and so I sat in the hallway waiting for some sign from the client. After about 15 minutes, I decided to leave. Outside, the building's property manager was waiting for me. He informed me that a tenant had called him and was worried that I was a criminal with unauthorized access to the building. I told the property manager what I was there to do, and he asked me to prove it. He asked to see the contents of my bag, or he would have to call the police. I thought to myself, well, ain't this some shit? He about to feel stupid as hell, hella stupid, when I unzipped this bag. As onlookers looked on, I got on one knee and exposed the contents of my bag for all of San Francisco to survey. I don't know if he felt hella stupid, but I left the situation still broke. And one guy actually shouted, "Go back to Oakland," to me like Oakland was Africa or something. I guess it may as well be Africa to some of the new San Francisco crowd. And yet still, these White Walkers threaten to cross the bridge. I come home to Fruitvale's palm trees and sirens and dogs who mimic the sirens, loudspeakers and firecrackers, helicopters and direct orders, lotto tickets and hummingbirds and niggas getting cussed out, shouting matches on Grande Vista, burnout marks and shooting stars and saxophones and gunshots and black folks boning. The whole shebang. Thank you.